When you're building out an app, you don't create everything from scratch. You use existing technologies to combine them with functionalities in your app to create a brand new app. And this existing technologies, tech companies sell them as APIs. And in this video, I'm going to talk to you about what these APIs are and how it's important for the success of your app. So we know tech companies like Google has Google Maps. Google has the ability to search for addresses and it brings up suggested locations. So Google Map created this technology. They also sells it to you. And they sell it to you in a form of an API where your application can talk to their application and get that data, get that technology. And it's not just Google, like ChatGPT. ChatGPT, when you use it in a chat box, it depends on OpenAI technology. And OpenAI, they sell that API to you directly for your software. So you can talk directly to the same technology that ChatGPT is based off of. And that's another example. Another one will be Stripe. Stripe created the technology to process credit card payments, and then they sell it to you as an API for you to use. So when you want to use these different APIs, usually you have to create an account, and usually you pay per use. So the more you consume the API, the more you consume the technology, the higher you pay. And generally, also there's different tiers for the API, so you might need certain tiers of benefits as well, or you might need a different tier. So tech companies sells API, they sell other software to use their technologies as part of their business. And when you're choosing what API to add in your app, you have to first see, does it solve the problem you want to solve? And then usually these APIs connected to data. There's data that you can use from this tech company into your app. And this data follows a certain standard. So you can see, is this data useful for your app? Like data, like there's a government one, ProPublica, where they sell data of like government APIs that you can use. Is this data needed for your app? You don't have to gather all this data yourself. You can just pay for it with the API. So the database of the API is useful. So you want to see, does this technology solve the problem? Is this database useful for my app? And once you see that's useful, once you determine how you pay for it, next step is to create an account and consume it. Usually you get an API key. An API key is your unique identifier to talk to that API. And it's important to keep your API secret, secure, so no one else uses it. If a hacker gets access to your API key, they can run up your bill for consuming the API. It's not like a login password way to use it. It's used through a API key. So then you want to find an API that solves your problem, has the data you need, is in your budget. And next, each API has documentation. Just like IKEA, if you're buying furniture assembly has documentation on how to assemble it. And each furniture company has their own unique documentation style. Like IKEA is pretty simple, just images, and there's like no words. While another furniture company might have a bunch of words and text to describe how to build the furniture. And it depends on the person consuming it, what they like more. And the developers has to read this documentation and add it to their app. And some Some APIs have easier documentation to follow, and some others don't because there's no standard way. And some might just like the style of a documentation better. So not only does it have to solve your problem, it's within the price range, it has the data you need, you also have to be able to understand their documentation. And once that's all set, your app will be dependent on that API. So if that API goes out of business, if they have updates, you have to update your app. If there's anything that goes wrong, if that API has an outage, it will affect your app as well. So you need a company that you believe is reliable, that will be there in your future, that has customer service as well. So if there's a problem, you can contact them. So those are the factors that make up an API when you're deciding which API to add to your app. And you don't need to be a developer to understand this, because if you want to create an app, you have to know which API you're using and the benefits of them. So that's all I want to talk to you about today. Thank you so much for watching. My name is David. I'm a freelance web developer based out of Las Vegas. If you need help building out your website, web app, SaaS app, if you're learning how to code, feel free to message me about what you're working on, what questions you have, what challenges you're going through, and I can see how I can help. Thank you.